So, two things to get out of the way. One, if my voice sounds horrible, then you can probably guess as to why I uploaded a swath of videos of me being at Monday Night Raw yesterday, and so that's why my voice is just a little bit, a little bit touchy as of right now. But number two, I want to thank you guys so much for the response to that first episode of my rewatch of The Mandalorian. I really do appreciate it, and it just shows me that I might be doing the right thing by doing this. So let's continue down the road. Of course, I'm Daniel Strung. Welcome back to QuickTime Reactions, and welcome back to making my way to Mandalorian and Grogu, which I'm going to be chronicling all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, as well as covering Book of Boba Fett. And here, we're at episode 2 of season 1 of The Mandalorian, which is titled The Child. This episode was directed, by Rick Famuyiwa, who will become a name that you'll hear quite a bit in this re-breakdown or re-coverage of the whole show, because I believe he directs episodes in, obviously, Season 1, but also Season 2 and Season 3, and I think he might have directed an episode in the Book of Boba Fett, but we'll cover that once we cover that. And, of course, this was written by Jonfavreau. Mando has possession of the asset, the child, but he has to make his way back. But unfortunately, he can't because his ship is torn apart. It was torn apart by Jawas. So, in order for him to get the parts back to his ship, he has to do the Jawas a little bit of a favor in securing an egg. So can he get the job done? We'll have to wait and see. I really liked this episode. It really starts us out on the journey towards Mando and the child, Grogu, into being like essentially joined at the hip, because as of right now, Mando is just seeing this child as purely an asset. Like, this is basically what I'm here to get. I just need to bring it back so that I can get paid. That is the extent of their kind of relationship at this point. But the child sees, this Mandalorian and wants to try and help him. He, once Mando gets jumped by, I think those are nicknolte gang members who try and take the child from him at the beginning of the episode. He's there repairing his armor, but he's also got a scratch on his arm, and he reaches out his hand. Little did we know that later on that would actually become of some importance, and also I will talk about what him reaching out his hand means when we get to that moment later in the season, and how funny it is that it tied into the movies. But of course, Mando gets back to his ship. It's trashed by the Jawas, and something that I completely forgot in this episode is that Mando actually chased the Jawas down and got onto their what I'm going to call their crawler. That big ship, basically trapezoid ship. He chases him, gets on their crawler, and is like just trying to get up to the top to try and get to the Jawas, but of course he fails. So he goes and gets Quill's help to try and get the parts back from the Jawas. But he can't trade away his Beskar. He can't trade away the kid. So the Jawas want him to go and get an egg from somewhere. And of course, the egg, of course, is guarded by what we later figure out to be a mudhorn. I believe that is the creature's name. And Mando doesn't stand a chance against this mudhorn. Like, absolutely no chance against it. And he sticks out his knife, just like, I'm gonna make a last stand. But the mudhorn stops and is floating in the air because the child is force sensitive, which I can remember back. That I think was also a big moment in like the early stages of this show. Was like, oh, he's force sensitive. Oh, that's cool. But of course, kid can't hold on to the mudhorn for too long, so he stops and he goes to sleep. But Mando, that was enough of a distraction for Mando to get the job done. So he gets the egg, brings it back to the Jawas, which we see that it's basically kind of food for them. But he eventually does get his parts back, and with the help of Quill, they reassemble the Razor Crest into a full working operation. And that's basically it. Mando then takes off, and you're presumed that he's going to make his way back and basically get paid. But that's not exactly what ends up coming to pass. But of course, we'll talk about that later on in the series. But that is my review of episode 2 of season 1 of The Mandalorian. It was a really fun episode. And it really just starts to show the bonding between Mando and the child, which of course will get fully developed in the coming episodes and in the coming seasons, I should say. So that'll be fun to look forward to. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it for me on this one, guys. Be safe out there, and remember, maybe get yourself a companion along the way, because you never know that they may show you the way to a different path. I will catch you guys next time.